All right, we're back. And normally when you do get a build error, it comes back pretty quick. Sometimes it near the end you'll get one, but I think I only got one once because it checks the file first and looks for all the files. The only kind of error you'll get later is if a file's not readable or something, or some weird error, in which case you just blow away the build by going to Windows and just erasing all these files, right-click, delete them, and then rebuild. And then usually it works. Normally it's something, I don't know what it is. So finished, green, it built. All right, now for the fun part, and this is somewhat quick, so we'll do this. Run it. And it's a standard, do you want to run it thing. This is the license that we edited, my name here, which you could either have one or not. Next, this is where it's going to install it. This was your name or your company name here, and that's where it's going to go. Or the user can change where they want to put it. I don't want to let's create one so you can see how it works. Normally I don't. Next is install. You can distribute this on a web page. You can distribute this by sending it an email if you have enough, if you can send large email attachments. You can put this on OneDrive or Google Drive, and there's ways on those to say share this, like I did with the ISS file and other files. Let's just launch it the first time to make sure it works. So it installed it, and it's going to run it here in a second, we hope. There we go, it's starting up. My first project, and this is the demo, the first initial demo. And it installed it, and it's running it on your computer. And of course, if you built all of the stuff before, it will show the one that you actually built. As far as that icon goes, remember I was talking about the icon. Where did it go in here? The ICO file. It's down. There it is. This is what you get if you use the default icon when it's just a Unity program. So you don't want a whole bunch of these same icons if you have 5 different things. Also, let's see, make sure it ran down here. See, it would look just like the Unity ones. If everything worked well, down here under RiverExplorer is my first project with that dummy icon, right? So we can click here and run it. We can click on the desktop icon and run it, and it all seems to work. Again, I would suggest you create your own icons. All right, now is what we're going to do is that was a mono build. Now we're going to do a build for IL to CPP. And remember, not all Unity programs can be built with the mono compiler. And what we're going to do is go back to My Project Builds, Windows, and select everything in here, right-click, and delete it. We can always rebuild it if we want it. And let's see, then we're going to go back to our project, which is somewhere here. And we're going to go to Edit, Project Settings. We didn't change this or the version. We're going to change this to IL to CPP. And it has some options. Faster versus a smaller build. Years ago, it was sometimes critical to make smaller builds rather than faster ones. Anymore, it doesn't really make a difference. And the user most of this time, back when computers were 1 megahertz, not a gig is 1,000 megahertz. And some of these computers are 3 gigahertz, so it's 3,000 times faster than it was when the PCs came out. So I just normally click faster runtime. Configuration, debug. This is what I do when I'm debugging my code and wanting to make it test it. I will have things in debug build. Release is a bad name. It means kind of half debug. So when I think I'm getting ready to release the product, I'll build a release build But it has enough stuff in there, so if it crashes, I can kind of debug it and figure out how to get back to it. The user will never see your debug stuff. Master means rip out absolutely everything that is not needed. I don't like the name master, but I think the reason is that release used to be master, but they didn't want to change the name release, so they called it release and master. Master just tosses everything the user will never be able to use whatsoever out of there, all the debug stuff and everything else. And so that's what we want to do if we're building a Setup.exe that we're going to share with somebody. We set it to faster runtime or smaller if you want. Or maybe it'd be fun if you wanted to set it to smaller and see how much smaller the Setup.exe was when you were done. All right, so we cleared out the directory. We set this up for IL to CPP and file build settings build, and as you know, then we're going to check the Windows folder. And as you know, this can take a few minutes, so I'll see you in the next video.